Good morning, Colab Baptist. Glad you could join us for our morning devotion time. And we're looking here in 2 Corinthians chapter 2 and verse 11, where the Bible says, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. The Bible tells us that there's a possibility that Satan could get an advantage over us. He could bring wreck and ruin and temptation into our lives. And the warning is issued here, but we are told that we're not ignorant of his devices. That's Satan's tricks. He has a lot of tricks in his bags, but we know all of his tricks. We're aware of them. And one of his tricks is he will always attack us at our weakest and most vulnerable point. Kind of like we see the law of the jungle, we'll see the predator, and he'll survey the herd, and he'll look for that sickly animal, that slow animal, that young animal to attack, to try to attack the prey that's the most vulnerable and the most weak. Well, he's out to get all of us. He's out to attack all of us, that is Satan, but he's going to try to do it in a way in which we are extra weak. He'll dial up the right combination. Last night at church, we had a great illustration. I hope you got to hear Brother Jim Vickery's testimony. It was very powerful and poignant. I think it'll be a blessing. If you want to, go back in the archives and listen to that testimony. It'll really mean a lot to you. Well, Brother Vickery came to know the Lord, and then what happened is a Christian hurt him. A Christian disappointed him. And that led to him turning away from the church, turning away from the Lord for 12 years. And he says he suffered for that. And of course, he gave the exhortation to not do what he did. And that's a great exhortation. But here's what happened with him. He gave his whole testimony, and I thought it was wonderful that he gave his background and talked about his life growing up. As a young boy, he was hurt so many times. As a young boy, he had so many tragedies. There were times when he wasn't properly cared for. And then he became a Christian. And he experienced God's love and saw the wonders of God's people care for one another. And then upon a day, one of God's people, one of God's servants, broke his heart, disappointed him. And that was just the right combination. That was just the right thing that Satan needed to employ to tempt him. Now, with him, it was because he was hurt in the past, that he had a high expectation of God's people. And when he had a hurt from them, rather than understanding that God's people on the whole are better than the world, and God's people on the whole do great things, but sometimes we still do hurt one another. We need to forgive. Rather than realize that, the old devil was able to use that device, that trick, to lure him away. Friend, that's exactly the way Satan's going to work in your life. He's going to dial up the exact combination that will be the most tempting for you. With Brother Jim, at his point in life and with his experience and his background, it was when he experienced hurt from a believer, that was the thing that Satan used to break his heart. For you, it may be something else. It may be ambition, where Satan will attack you. It may be materialism, and Satan will get in there and your natural tendency to like stuff, and he'll use that to get an advantage. It may be your own lack of confidence that he'll use, confidence in who you are before the Lord. It may be the disappointments of others, like with Brother Jim. It may be the temptation of lust or many other things, jealousy, being jealous of what somebody else has and accomplishes. There's many, many different things the way we are made up as individuals, and Satan is able to come in and attack us using his clever techniques. And so we just need to be alert to that. We need to determine where we need to have fortification. Examine your life. Ask the Lord to fortify every weak place in your life. And then for those strongholds in your life. Ask the Lord to not allow you to be proud. By the way, some are given to pride, and they have a problem with that, and that's another one of his tricks to get us proud. Well, in Brother Vickery's testimony, he mentions some other people who were casualties, who Satan got an advantage of, and they had other temptations. So that just lets us know that we know what his devices are, and we need to be careful to humble ourselves before God. And if we will humble ourselves before him and resist Satan, then he'll flee from us. I hope that you'll stay strong for the Lord. And if you have felt a tug at your heart, anything that takes you away from Christ is wrong, wrong, wrong. Anything that lessens your dedication to the Lord is wrong. Anything that hurts your service to God is absolutely wrong. And eventually it'll come around to bring injury to yourself, to others, to your own family. And so, boy, let's make sure that we're walking on the straight and narrow, that we're following the Lord, and we're not going to be allured by anything. We're not going to turn to the right hand or the left. We're not going to be tricked by our own thinking, our own reasoning, our own feelings. We're going to go by what the Bible says. And when we do that, we're going to be in store for some great blessings, and the peace of God that passes all understanding will abide in us. And let me encourage you to do that. And maybe you've been feeling tempted the last few days. Well, just tell Satan to get on out of your life and yield to God, and you'll see the blessings. I appreciate you tuning in to our devotion time. I have asked several of our missionaries to send in some devotions and also some greetings. We'll be playing the greetings during the service times, and some of the devotions we'll be playing during the devotion time. So I've already received one missionary that has sent a devotion in and a greeting, and looking for some more. So if you tune in one day and it's not me bringing the devotion, you're at the right place. It's just I've asked our missionaries to help out, and then maybe some other staff members to help out as well. So God bless you. Thank you so much for listening in, and we're going to have an exciting time as we serve the Lord. This virus scare is going to pass, and we're going to be on fire for God and do more than ever before. Thank you for listening. God bless. Aloha.